How did you like that opening? We had fun putting that together for sure. So, welcome to a sneak peek at Falloween, as we're calling it here. Halloween, Thanksgiving, autumn. So, I am going to do some Q&A today at the end of the show. So if you have any questions, you can actually type them in at any time, and Brian is going to accumulate them and put them up on the screen for me later to see. So I'll answer any questions at the end. So you've got that, you know that. Then I'm going to start out with, not then, but now, I'm going to start out with the holiday that is right between Halloween and Christmas, and that, of course, is Thanksgiving. And you know the holiday that too often gets put aside, that we forget about, that maybe we don't decorate because we're thinking about Christmas so much. And then when that long weekend comes, we kind of wish we had a little bit more of it out. So what I wanted to show you today is ways that you can stretch that whole season out, September, October, November, and really enjoy it and layer it in every week, a little bit more every week, and just have fun with it. So we're going to start out with some Thanksgiving pieces, and I'm going to also show you again, pay attention, how we can work them in even before. We can sneak a few of them in. Hopefully you'll like the ideas. We'll see. If not, it's okay. So I'm going to start with this grouping right here, and I'm going to go over to the table over here, and John's going to follow me over here. And here I am. So what we have are two different Pilgrim servers. I got lucky this morning because I went to the Albertsons and I found these great little carrot cupcakes with the little orange sprinkles on top. So I was really happy to find some Thanksgiving, Halloween, fall colors going on with these. But great details on these. Look at, I think we talked about these once, look at great detail coming down the sides, all the sewing on the pants and everything, the great details. The check patterns on the coats. Two different check patterns, colorful, one's a little bit more fall-like. And that gives me a chance to look on the front and see all the great details that are coming back around. And I'm not talking about those cupcakes right now, but let's look in the middle since we're here. Look at the different details inside. The jewels, we love doing jeweling. When we're shopping for trimmings and fabrics, we find so much jewels and trims, and we don't always know, again, what we're going to do with them, but we love finding them because when we find good stuff, it's easy to do. So functional, these are real. I promise you we're going to eat these right after the show, promise you. They're great when you have people over to put little hors d'oeuvres and treats on. It really livens things up. And up here we've got some, these are like bear claws or something. They're apple strudel filled things. They look really good. So I for sure am going to have one too. So great pieces to have for hors d'oeuvres, for treats, for flowers. Or I'm going to show you something in a few minutes with a candle holder that's going to go into Halloween, but it's really for Thanksgiving. So Renee's going to help me this show, so I'm going to put these out, and we're going to put a turkey in here next. And however you put it is perfect. Thanks, Renee. So I actually found the vegetables. So I like to do this at home also because I love vegetables. It's crazy. I like sweets and vegetables. But I like to have the vegetables out, the fruits out on the countertop all the time. So for my kitchen, I'm going to have this turkey out early and put my daily vegetables or ones that I think I'm going to cook with to put them out there. I could put a little bit larger tray on here, but this is the tray we had. So whether you could use it with the tray or without, it comes with that silver tray, by the way. So it comes like that with that silver tray. But we added the glass Pyrex dish to it. I don't know where we found it, but I like to just have the vegetables kind of out at room temperature and cook with them every meal. I like vegetables. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I like vegetables. So wonderful piece. You can also overflow. John, can we get a sneak peek? There, we go down low. You can overflow with any vegetables and pieces down here, or if you want to do artificial ones down below. I love the black and white. There's not a lot of black and white, but as John scrolls up now, we'll see it again right there, right in there. Just a little hint of it there. So you see it on the back of his tail and then on the base. And then while we're going around, let's just look. The back of the piece is just as elegant as the front. So this is all sewn. I mean, this is great. This is lots of multi-panels, this great embroidered fabric. And as we come back around, we're going to just get his profile I'm not sure whose is going to be better profile, his or mine. Probably, we're both turkeys, so. Look at the great detail up here. You got gourds, you got berries, you got feathers, you got these glasses on him. And are we able to, John, kind of zoom in on this embroidered millinery piece right here? Really neat piece. You know, we find some of this stuff, again, and we don't always know what we're going to do with it, but we just find it and it's wonderful. And then we've got these great feathers here. I mean, it's just really cool to have them. A lot of great detail on this. So this is one of the pieces that you would want to use. You might want to use the Klarna checkout option, which Klarna is where you get to pay over, I think, 4 payments over 2 months or so. So for a higher priced item, if you really want to get it, you can make it easier on your budget and do it that way. And that is on the Mark Roberts Marketplace where the Klarna is available. And some retailers are having it on their own retail sites also. So however you get it, just get it. So we will then go back over to the main table. And I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about birds of a feather, because they definitely say birds of a feather flock together. So we've got quails and we've got pheasants. There are pairs of them. And what I love about them is it's just a beautiful tapestry, both literally tapestry fabrics, but a tapestry of fabrics and trimmings and jeweling and feathers, and it's just put together. It's just pretty magnificent, actually. So these quails are wonderful, as are the pheasants that are over here, these brother pheasants, and they've got the pheasant tails on them, which is fabulous. I'm going to bend that over for you to see it. Let's see. We can see that pheasant feather tail, really wonderful. And then look at the great colors. I mean, these are great pieces. Very stylish, more formal, and very, very traditional, but works so well. So what I'm talking about on your table is layering. You don't have to put everything in at once, even if you have it all. If it's old stuff or new stuff, you know, a lot of it, we obviously all have lots of stuff in our garages or storage areas, and we put stuff out. And then we like to add a few new things each year. But you don't have to put everything out all at once. You can layer it in sections. You can do, like obviously these harvest looking, autumn looking quails and pheasants, you can put out, of course, well before Halloween. You can put them out in September. Why not? You know, you start to add some of that stuff in. Things like these gorgeous gold and copper pumpkins. You know, these can go out, obviously, September time. Goes right through the season. This goes fall, harvest, Halloween, Thanksgiving. I'm going to show you these. I love these for sitting a witch on or a fairy or elf on top of it because they're so elegant and so grand. Also love this great, beautiful movement to that acanthus-leafed stem on the pumpkin. Really wonderful. And then it's got that great glitter on the top of it. So you know we love glitter around here. So we end up with glitter all over us everywhere. But it's just so pretty. So the larger one is more copper, and the smaller one is more of a goldish copper. It's just a lighter tone of it. And they really complement each other really, really nicely. It's great accessories that you can have around the house at any time. So I said to you about Thanksgiving and Halloween and layering and mixing things in. When we set a table, of course we didn't light the candles. Renee actually was going to light them earlier, and I said, no, I don't want the batteries to run out. But why can't you have to have candles for your table, but why can't you sometimes put just a pumpkin on top of that candle holder? This sneaks this guy in a little bit earlier than Thanksgiving, so you're putting him in. He's a Halloween guy dressed up as a pilgrim for Halloween. Okay, there's your answer right there. But why not use the candle holders for pumpkins or for other things that you can make them look wonderful on? This might be a little bit too heavy or too big for it, but it looks fantastic. There we go. Both work. You've got the solid gold classic color here. Here you got the orange with the black and white, which is really pretty. And I believe, John, you said to me there was black and white on these things, and I said, I told you, well, they've got black velvet on their feet and the black details, so it kind of brings it. I like having the black with it. There's another pumpkin that has black and orange in it. Would be really pretty, also be great on there. But really timeless pieces. I love candles, candle holders, and I love the LED candles these days. I'm spoiled because a lot of them will go off by timers. they automatically go on and off every day, and so you're kind of set and good to go. All right, I am going to move to, are you guys sending questions in, by the way? If you are, Brian, are you shaking your head? Brian's shaking his head. He said they're starting to come in. So as they're coming in, remember, I'm going to answer them at the end. Don't make them too hard, but don't make them too easy either, okay? So I'm going to move back over here, and we're going to talk about some more fun stuff. Okay, I'm going to do this first because this was my plan here. Okay, so I was going to ask John and Brian to put this up on the screen, but Webster's dictionary, I looked it up, cornucopia, and I'm going to read it to you here. A goat's horn-shaped container overflowing with the harvest bounty of the season, a symbol of abundance and gratitude. Then, that was Webster's dictionary. Then, there's a dictionary called Robert's Dictionary, and if you look up hollowed out turkey, it says something like a place to plant an ivy or autumn plant to enhance your table, something like that. That's my dictionary. But this is a cool turkey. I think, Renee, you planted this in here. Yeah, it's planted in here. This is a great planter. It's great. And you could put an ivy in it. You could put all sorts of things in it. And turn it to the side. It's got great detail on it. What a great piece for a sideboard or a table. I like to do things in pairs, so I like to have them, the cornucopias, there we go, just pop out from me. No problem here. We're only on live, Facebook Live here. 10,000 people watching and it's fallen off on me. I like to do things in pairs, and for me, cornucopias definitely work nice as a pair. So I would put them like something like that and have them flowing on a sideboard or a mantle. These would be great on a mantle at Thanksgiving time or Halloween time. And this is unscripted at this part, but how great is it to add a fairy or elf to your cornucopia? Why couldn't you do a Thanksgiving one? This is a sneak peek one, so I don't have any Thanksgiving ones today. But why couldn't you add one to that? A Thanksgiving one would be great for it. This one is Halloween. We'll do Thanksgiving ones at another show. Okay. Another pieces that would be wonderful are these three magical, festive, tapestried pumpkins. Look at the great fabrics and colors on them. Again, fabrics, trims, feathers, details. Just really a tapestry of fabrics and trimmings. Just really gorgeous, very traditional. Accents that you really can't go wrong with. These are things you can use in the autumn season, which starts, I think the autumn season starts Labor Day. Some people start it earlier, some people start it later, but putting these things out, and why can't you mix them with some fresh gourds that you get at the grocery store? I like to get some of the fresh gourds to put on the table, but I like to pizzazz it up also, and so pumpkins are a great way, these fabric pumpkins are a great way to really dress it and make it look special, make it look festive and playful and cool. So, great pumpkins here. Another set of cornucopia that I want to show you, and Renee, how are we going to do that? We're just going to slide them down here, I think, right? I'm just going to do it right on my kitchen counter here that does not have a stove. That's how we built it out. But the copper version here, really rich, copper and gold, really rich coppers, gold leafing, gold glitters, cornucopias. Remember, look the cornucopia up on Webster. This key is not in the Robert's Dictionary because there's no planter in that one. That's just a solid one. But, John, can I have one of those pumpkins? They're taking them away from me because we're racing through this show here. But look how pretty, once again, this all looks in here. Or, mix some of the other velvet ones in. Great colors that go in there. So it looks really wonderful, real timeless, and different displays that you can do with them. Great things you can do. Am I going too fast for you? Are you making your notes and your questions? I'm going to be spending time with you doing questions in a little bit. So, all right, I am going to go to the middle over there by that spider. You're going to see a spider in a minute, and talk to you about tablescapes. So I guess I'm allowed to sit down. Am I allowed to sit down? Was the boss here today? The boss is not here today. He's off. What's he doing? He's the boss. Okay, so we did these tablescapes. We just sat there and we made them in the warehouse. And great pieces. I think I showed some of these to you. There's 6 different designs. I'm only showing you 2 of the smaller ones. But there are larger versions of these, and they're similar. They're not the same. They're all 6 are different. And you're going to get these great sparkle flowers, roses, different pumpkins on all of them. And then some of the elfins that have, this guy's a pilgrim elfin. Great gift, great hostess gift, or great just to put up on a mantle somewhere. Same thing with this guy here. You know, I love how, actually Renee did this when he sat him on, no, Luis or Renee, one of you guys did it, I'm not sure which, but put this on here and just made him really festive and playful, sitting like that. John, can I come over this way a little bit? You can see it so that we're not competing with the other one. But fun pieces, you know, they're not that expensive. These are like around 110 maybe, I think. And you get it all pre-done, comes in this great velvet base. These were fun to put together. This was almost like designer challenge on all of these. We were pulling different products together. What do we have? What can we make up and stay busy? So that was kind of what we wanted to do with that. All right, we're back to pumpkins because I'm moving back over here. I'm giving John the heads up on it. I want to talk about pumpkins for you. How can we not decorate for Halloween without having pumpkins? And how about some Mark Roberts pumpkins? What do they have? Of course, they have jeweling. They've got different fabrics, layers of fabrics. They've got glitters and sparkles. They've got all this great stuff. These are usually come in pairs. And so we've got the solid orange velvet. We've got the orange velvet with the black and white harlequin pattern, and then a black and white check with a pumpkin motif glittered on top of that. These are just great pieces. And you know, they're very versatile. You can use them for lots of different things, which guess who is going to show you right now? Because let me find, do we have any jack-o'-lantern fairies, or am I going to get it over here? This guy, I'm going to get it right here. We think we know what we're doing, but so cool. How cool is the jack-o'-lantern fairy? I'm going to grab the big one also, unless he's tied in here. But how cool are they sitting atop these? I'm going to actually grab the small one because he's too big. How cool are they sitting on top of the pumpkins, creating different displays and everything? So, now come on, you better stay for me. You're on candid camera here right now. So, all right, we got a lot going on here, so I'm going to thin this out so you can see it better. Okay, the jack-o'-lantern fairy, perfect for what I like on this. How about adding a little tea light, those little battery-operated tea lights. Don't put a real fire-burning candle in here. The little battery-operated tea lights would be great inside of here in the evening, especially around Halloween. But I like to turn the candles on again, so I would put it on during the season because I want to enjoy the season. You've got lots of great details. Let me slide this over. Notice also on his shirt, got this great check fabric with the pumpkin and the orange design. Guess what? It's the same fabric right here. There it is. So it's purposely done to coordinate that together. And do we have a candle in there? Oh, we do have a candle. Do they come with a candle? No, we added a candle. Okay, so we found this little one here. I'm not sure that this is going to show up, but we find this little one in here. And it's little, but there we go. Does that show up? I'm going to twist it. John's telling me to twist it. Can I twist it the right way? Hard to tell with the light. Let's see. Little bit, you can see it, a little bit. It's hard, there is so much light in here. If you knew how many lights were on in here, I asked Brian to turn the air conditioning on like an hour before and just get it as cold as possible up here because there's We run our own power plant with all this electricity we're burning down here. Good thing we have solar. So back to reality here. Great, great details. I love, if you get this piece, you're going to love this velvet fabric on his pants because it's got a copper diamond shiny thing, for the lack of a better word, that goes on there. Great, great fabric. I love that. And then I'm going to see if, John, we can see the shoes on this guy. Look at the great detail on the shoes. Am I going the right way? I'm never going the right way. Look at the great detail. The trimmings, the ribbons come down, and then there's just this one little itty-bitty jewel here that's not so itty-bitty, but it's got 3 different little diamond-like pieces on it, and then that onyx-like jewel on top of there. And then this suede, this orange suede is just to die for. It's great. So really lovely details. Lots of lovely details on these. Great, great piece to work with. Next one that I'm going to do is the elf, which is the, what's he called? The pumpkin elf. Do we have a pumpkin elf, Renee, that I can borrow? Thank you. Good luck. I tied that guy on good. Cool. So look how cute he looks just sitting amongst the pumpkins, first of all. And then here, I'm going to want to, because I like all the patterns going on, for this one, I'm going to want to use the patterned pumpkins around him because I like that, the different patterns going on. And there's a small one right here, and he's on a stand. Now I remember what I loved about this guy, and that is the colors. Some great, great colors. And John, I'm going to ask you if we can look at, I'm going to use the big guy, if we can look at the great colors that are going on him, because if we just start at his feet and see there's purple down there. Got a great green brushed velvet shoe, elf shoe. But then he's got purple ribbons. There is like a orange and yellow gingham with some gold and silver ribbons, and then a amethyst like jewel there. I mean, it's really pretty. There's a lot of purple and orange in there, and it jumps on that green. And then we come up, and this is actually a very cool fabric. I love this. This is like a midnight blue sculpted velvet, and this pattern is just out of this world. That was hard to find, and I found this factory that will make this kind of fabrics, and it's really wonderful. It's busy, but it works on this guy. And look at his crazy happy face. So, Terry, do you like his face? I know you do. Then we come up to color again, and there's burgundy, burgundy roses. There's some peach-colored hydrangea flowers. And then we're tying in, again, those same purple and the gingham, orange and yellow gingham ribbons, and some other floral things. And it just really jumps on here. Really, really pretty. And another thing that I like about him is his black and orange striped vest. I mean, really, really cool vest. Little tassels going on. He's just very happy. He's like a must-have piece for me. And he's got a very playful hat, very, very playful. The details going on, the print that's up there. He's got more of that great floral going on there. He's got a really pretty end piece to his hat. He's just very happy. He is winking. I would say, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, that he is angling to get on Santa's naughty list. I mean, what do you say? Because, I mean, he's up to something. I don't know what, but you got to love that face. All right. What are we going to do after this? We're going to, oh, I'm still here at this table. So, okay. I'm going to give you these. We'll trade out. However, we're going to do this dance. And we are going to talk about the little pumpkin. No, not yet. We'll do these together. We're good. The order, so we keep the order and Brian doesn't get mad at me. Not that Brian gets mad at me. Got a lot of patience, trust me. Okay, the midnight witching hour. These, can we maybe take these away now at this point? Because I'm overflowing on this little table here. These guys, I'll just set here and they can wait for me. But the midnight witching hour is really upon us. That's what I got to say, because, or soon to be upon us. These pumpkins are just too cool. Look at the shape of them. Look at the movement and the patterns, and we've got the moon right there. I think you saw a moon in the earlier opening sequence, which was pretty cool. How we wanted to tie as much stuff together as we possibly could. You've got the patterns going on. You've got polka dots. You've got stripes, black and white, accented with gold, and then these wonderfully twisted tops, these gold twisted tops, really, really wonderful. I mean, these are just magical. These are really, really special. Imagine now one of or some of the fairies sitting atop them. How cool is that? He is not going to want to do that because he's on union scale. There we go. There we go. Too cool is that how that twisted top just fits on that so nicely. I can use this to follow my routine as we're going through this. Because to go with twins, which are these two, the two fairies, I also kind of have twin pumpkins right down here. They're, you know, fraternal twins themselves. And then these two fairies are like twins. They come together as a set. They are, I would call them fraternal twins because they sure don't look alike because one has a beard and one's a girl. But very, very sweet. Indeed, they are playful. And for like the really diehard Mark Roberts collectors, these are pieces to have. These are must-have pieces. So great pieces. Let's put her sign up there. She says Happy Halloween, and he says something similar. He says trick or treat, of course. She's sweet, and he's being naughty, I think is what the deal is here. But what's sweet on here is, besides the fact that he's giving me a hard time, which no surprise, I'm good, Renee. What I like on her is her little lace dress that goes over her little pumpkin body. Because she's got this orange, sparkling, sheer lace, little spider web coming out of it or something like that. It's hot glue. But it just softens everything for her so nicely. She's got this beautiful velvet body coming down here, and then all this great detail, the fabrics that are layered, and again we got black and white going on in here, jewels. There's purple trimming around here, which is very, very pretty. I also like her hair. John, are we able to get a close-up of her hair? That's it. Okay. Oh, we are a little bit more. Okay, cool. You're good. That's good. We're moving on a rolling camera, not a different camera right now. So her hair is got almost like a buttery soft or frosting soft blonde mixed with that orange. And so it's really, really soft, and it's very, it reminds me of frosting, basically. It reminds me of like cookie frosting on an orange cupcake cookie type piece. Really soft colors, and to work that, believe it or not, I want to say, John, we did this hair like about 5 or 6 times to like get the amount of blonde to mix with the orange. Because it wasn't just put some orange and blonde together and it's done. We kept going back with, no, let's soften it a little bit more. Let's soften it a little bit more. So know that a lot of those details, we really work on it a lot, and sometimes we even debate such nonsense as that for 5 or 10 minutes, and, at the end of the day, whatever's right is what gets done, and that's how we do it. And it shows, I want to say, because she's really, really pretty. And he has got to coordinate with her. So he's got the purple trimmings that's on his feet that she has on her upper body. And so we coordinated that together. Obviously the pumpkin is the same. But otherwise they're basically different, but there are some coordinating things. Those orange polka dot bows, they're really small. But those all coordinate together. They're on both pieces. They are twins, so they got to have some things that they dress up together with. So fun pieces, these little twins. They are called the Halloween Pumpkin Fairy. Simple. Fairies, it should say. But it's two. It's an assortment of 2 or a set of 2. I think we have them noted up there as price per each. So great pieces. The medium is a little bit smaller than the normal mediums, and we did that on purpose. And that's partially why I said, for the really diehard Mark Roberts collectors, this is a unique size. So there's really not many pieces that I do in this size. So it's a little bit smaller, and it's a little bit more accessible, so to speak. Great pieces, though. I love having these pieces, and these will sit on my desk at work come probably early October, because I'll do the same thing. I'll layer things in at work and at home both, and I do different in both locations so I can have more stuff. But they're sweet. I'll probably put one on a lamp. I have 2 lamps in my office, so maybe I have to do 2. So, all right, I think I get to move over that way, and we're going to take this rotator with us, right? Is that right? We did this routine a couple times. So I'm going over, John, to the pumpkins, the cats on the pumpkins, and we are going to start with those. So I'm just going to push these aside a little bit, because I'll bring that cat right up here. Actually, Renee, we can take this off And just put the rotator on here now, we'll be good. Thank you. And these can actually go. I'll just stick her here. No, she can go. She's going away. Because I want to talk about this pumpkin here, and I promised, oh, my memory kills me, because I said to somebody on Facebook, I think it was today, earlier today, she said she loved everything except the cat. And I said, well, give it a second chance, because at least look at the eyes. You don't have to like the cat or get the cat, but look at the eyes, because the eyes are very, very cool. So, and I may have to give you an angle, because, yeah, you can see the eyes. Look at that. That is like a orange amber with a little bit of pink in it jewel. It's just a magnificent little color there that we found. And this cat, it's like, wow, these are going to make great cat eyes. This is just too cool. So just the right shape and everything. And this whole cat thing, I mean, we're talking style. This is panache. This is really stylish. This is real, I mean, look at the necklace coming down. You're seeing the great blue and white details. And there's two different versions of this. There's a blue and white version and a black and white version. The blue and white and black and white are both very classic foundation colors to work with and patterns. And it really just depends on which you like better. I mean, the black and white is probably the most classic, but I'm really liking the blue. For me, I'm liking all the blues that we're seeing. We've been seeing, hey, I'm wearing a blue vest today, so come on. You can tell I like the blues. But I love the different details on here. You've got, this is, what did I put on this? This is, I mean, they're glorious, first of all, but it's great combinations of fabrics. They're very stylish. They're very designer-oriented. And it's all one piece. So I'm lifting it. It's not heavy, obviously, but it's about, give or take, 3 feet. But from every little detail on it, from the very bottom, all the different fabrics and the trimmings and everything that we laid out. This little tail is curled. You can it's wired, so you can kind of do whatever you want with it. I'm suspecting that Brian is going to want a cat. And I'm not talking about Brian behind the computers, but Brian in Florida, who loves cats, I know. Look at the sparkling details on here. Great, great, great. I love this. And then this fur. It's a faux fur on the cat, but yet it is just so magical. It is just, I mean, it's so realistic and has just a little bit of sheen and glitter to it. And if we're able to zoom in on this jewel here, John, it is just a great, almost turquoise green color. It is just spectacular. And that sets off the magic of the eyes of the cat. And he's got these little cute little whiskers. I mean, this is a great piece. This is something you put near an entry, on a pedestal, on a stack of books, on, you know, these crazy things. There's times that I take a bucket and stick it upside down, put some fabric over it, and that's my riser, because we don't have the right thing. But I don't like to put something on the floor. I like to raise it up. I've sometimes used step stools, put a little bit of fabric over it. Nobody knows the difference. They don't know what it is. Sometimes they'll even say, where did you get that riser? Easy things to do. But at the very end of this, you know, one of the things, we don't let details go to pass. This is a clear, kind of a orangish colored, amber colored jewel that's like 2 or 3 different stones on there. I don't have my glasses with me, but you can see how beautiful that is. But the small little details that we don't like to forget about. It's just, and it's actually a cube, which is neat, and then it's faceted. It's just a great piece. So I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to just bring up the black and white one so you can see the black and white, since I was kind of spoiled in showing you what I loved, which was the blue and white. But the black and white here, same design, different fabrics. So we've got the black and white going on here, different colors. There are some different fabrics. This is a great velvet embroidered tapestry. I mean, that is just like out of this world fabric. There is another one coming down here. If we can look down at the lower parts where my hands are, yeah. Both of these are great fabrics. This is the same one I was just talking about. And then this sheer with this purple, I mean, it's just great fabrics. So these are fun to have. I have one in my office right now. I won't tell you which one, you can guess. But I do have one of them in my office, kind of in front of my desk, and it kind of goes into another area of that space. But I've had it there for, what, 3, 4, 5, 6 months? I've had it there for a long time. So when we first got the samples, I just got it there. So did we freeze? There, we're okay. All right, great. So next, I want to show you probably my personal favorite of the show, which is Renee has them, my personal favorite pieces of accent pieces. There's a lot of them. There's one more somewhere. It's right behind me. Are these pumpkins. And they're just, these are like must-have pieces also. There's 3 different sizes. All these have great different fabrics on them. Lots of different color, very glorious, very unique. And I can just spin it around, John, and we're good to go. They're unique, and they're just great accent pieces. You can do so much with them. Imagine also both the smaller ones we talked about earlier and these, doing them in a wreath, especially this size, how great they'd be in a wreath. I think the next Halloween show we do, which might be in August or something, we'll probably make a wreath up and show, but this would be great doing in wreaths. These are great just sitting around as is. They're going to be great accent pieces to set your witches on, especially these larger sizes, because they can fit real nicely. You saw on the smaller ones, when I tried to put that large fairy on it, I misjudged, and I had to grab a small one because the scale was off. But these again are designer-oriented, and for sure, a witch would feel right at home. Do we have, is this one magic mushroom? Cool. So look how cool, and I'll talk about her in a second, but look how comfortable she looks sitting right on here. If I can get her, Renee's got a nice pose going on for her, so I like when she sits. I like when they don't argue with me. But Magic Mushroom Witch, that's who she is. I kind of think that she came of age in the late 60s, as a lot of us were born in the 60s or around in the 60s. Some of you younger ones were not born until the 70s or 80s, and even 90s, I know. But Magic Mushroom Witch, you'll have to look it up for you younger guys and girls. Look it up, but let's look at her details. Do we have a stand? Am I going to get a stand or just, oh, I'll take this one. We're going to just trade. Go ahead, I'll let you take. I have the wrong stand, but it's going to have to do. We interchange things, so I'm going to put her on the stand so we can see her a little bit better. You know, the good thing about the stands, once you can find where to connect them at. Renee, do you want to connect this one for me? Because I'm going to grab another one also. The good thing about the stands is that, they're very versatile, and you can use them for different, you don't always have to use them all the time, but you can use them at different times. So let's just do that again. And we are good to go. These can just stay right here, we're good. I love her also. So we talked about that hair, and I'm going to go back because here's another one with the blonde and the orange hair together, but this is more orange. So this has a lot more orange in it than the other one. So she's a little bit more Halloweenish, if that's the right word, or Falloweenish, whichever that right word would be. But we wanted her to have more orange in her hair, so we actually, stress out over some of those details. Witches have so many details. First of all, witches are going to be gone this year early. They've been very, very popular. So we still have them in the warehouse, not a whole lot, but the retailers have been kind of gobbling them up. Can I use that word in the Falloween show? Gobbling them up? Have been gobbling them up, and there's not that many left. So Halloween items, especially the witches, are going to sell out this year earlier than they normally do. So she's got lots of layers. She's got this, this sheer is amazing. Great sheer that's got all this sparkly, fuzzy looking stuff. Underneath there is a velvet that has got a mixed combination of a purple patterned fabric, which is just wonderful. And then, got a gorgeous lining. Look at that green lining. That is really sharp. So we've got some really great colors going on here. She's got some great purple going on in her. She's got turquoise. Turquoise, blue. We did this on purpose. There's a reason that her shoes are turquoise. And she's got that amber jewel on there. Am I going to go the right way? There we go. Got that amber jewel on there. But as we go up to her hat, we will then see that we're going to tie in that same turquoise with a gorgeous turquoise velvet. How rich is that to go together with all of her other colors? She's got feathers going on in her hat. She's got another different amber jewel on the end of her hat. Lots of great colors going here. Green sequins, purple sequins, amber jewels, ribbons and bows. John, how did you put all this stuff together? You got to have, that's why we wear glasses. because there's just so much stuff going on here. And then all this great trimming and detail. And I love this. You know, I remember the first time I saw this, I think Jong did this, and he put the little diamond trim on the glasses. I mean, that is just too cool. That is very 60s for sure. At least it is to me, for sure. Happy face, lots of great detail. The bats going on here, and she's the magic mushroom, which I love also I'm going to do the shoulders because we're right on them, and I'm going to turn it, John, so you can see it. You're good. But what I love on her is her shoulders, and I kind of am never cease to be amazed at some of the detail work, because you see this gorgeous jeweling. Wait till you see all the layers. You've then got this ruffled layer of double ribbons. We then have, pull this wing out of the way, purple feathers with turquoise, hints of turquoise in them. Then we have green sequined ribbon. Then we have a gorgeous green velvet that actually works with all of this. Amazing. This orange sheer ribbon, and there's then a green and gold sheer ribbon, and I think there's another ribbon here, a orange of some sort. All of these details that layer together. So we talk about layering in your display at home. That's how we do the design work, is we layer lots of different details on them. And you don't always notice all of them right away. I mean, that's one of the best. Well, this even has a gold cord, copper gold cord on it, so we're missing that detail also. As you're fluffing them out, I mean, that's part of the joy of it. I mean, I know when people get them, I hear and see, how wonderful they're packaged, both from Mark Roberts and also a lot of the stores package them really nicely. They then take it one extra step or two extra steps and add all these different things to them. But that's the surprise of opening them, the joy of opening them, and then fluffing them out and really seeing the detail on them. I mean, as many times as I've seen them, as long as I've been doing them, I still am amazed and I still enjoy and I still love to see all the work that we put into them. And while we have a huge team that in the workroom, the design room, that helps us. Jong, Renee, and I do all the pieces. We design all of the pieces. And oftentimes we all have some aspect of all of them. There's a little bit of input on all of them. So there's a lot of, but again, there's a big team behind us, 30, 40 people, you guys, you think? Yeah, they're shaking their heads. Yeah, it's a lot of people because they're expert sewers, and I call them engineers. But lots of people that can do all sorts of things. It's just amazing, and they make our job easier because we have visions that we want to show you and make it so wonderful. So she is wonderful. The small one will look wonderful on the smaller pumpkin, of course. How colorful. You know what? Oh, this is the different pumpkin. This is the different. I'm going to do this. This is this magic mushroom? No, this is. That's magic mushroom. Oh, this is Batberry pie. Okay, because I'm confused because she's missing here. So, I still don't see her, Jong. So, okay. Anyways, you've seen me lose my mind. So let's go on to Batberry pie. That's why now I see it. Renee has it on the other side over there. So, a lot of this stuff we do very few rundowns. So, I don't always know where everything is. So, plus I'm older. I'm allowed to, sometimes. Batberry pie, which I'm going to just start with the hair again because we've been talking about hair. This one has orange and purple in her hair. So when we were talking about this yesterday, I said, I'm not sure if we foreshadowed trends or following trends, but I can remember when Len first started working here in the art department upstairs, she had pink hair the first day. And I called her pink because I couldn't, that was popped out of my head. And then a couple days later, a week later, she had purple hair. And she's had, I think, every color in the rainbow, purple. She's had every color. And she, and she wore it well. She looked fabulous in it. She was really very fashionable, cool. And so I'm not sure who preceded who first, and we're not going to try to claim anything, but it's cool. Younger people do it. We like to always think that we're younger. I think I'm younger. At least I think that. But so we do some fun things with their hair, and it's always something we want to come up with. Then I guess I'm just going to start and look at her from top to bottom. And there's the little one. Okay, cool. Got it. You can just leave that there. Actually, can you hand me the copper one instead? perfect. I'll just set her on the copper one. Let's just talk about her for a little bit. She is the Batberry pie. I think you heard me talk about this before. She was actually the pumpkin pie witch. That was her original name when we started out. And I think I've told you before also, the way we design the pieces is we start out with a name. And from there we work on a drawing, and then we work on fabrics and trimming. Sometimes we do the name and then start with fabrics. But anyways, she was pumpkin pie witch. And we have pumpkin pie fairy, we've done pumpkin pie elf, we always do that. It will be perfectly fine to do pumpkin pie witch, but what else can we do? And coming across in all of our stuff, come across this bat. And I said, John, why can't we make like a Batberry pie or something? We just call it, what's Batberry? Well, it's a berry pie with a bat on it. That's what it is. So she became the Batberry pie. So that reminds me a little bit of that late 60s again also, because we were talking right before we went on live about Batman and bat this and bat that. So, so now, I watched Batman in the late 60s. But she reminds me of that anyways, and so she's got a little bit of a late 60s theme to her also. Great details. I love the real clean green velvet, brushed velvet that's on her pants, because that helps set off. Look at all the other colors going on around here. And we were debating yesterday, what are these tassel ribboned things? We don't know what we want to call them, but they're all sewn, seamed edges with gold thread. And there's just layers and layers of them. There's two different versions of them. But it just kind of fluffs her out real nicely. And just gorgeous colors that just go up and down her body so well. And really some unique colors. You've got some very red going on here. You've got some turquoise. There's a reason for that. As I turn her around, come on. Remember that fabric factory that I told you about that makes some really wonderful fabrics? This is again a sculpted velvet with a really midnight blue velvet and an orange-ish red. I mean, it's a little bit more orange than red, but really, really pretty combination going on there, and the pattern and the detailing. So then this sharp red with the turquoise just jumps with this midnight blue and this orangish red. It just, all the colors go together so nicely. Just works really nicely. And no detail left unsaid. Her fingernails are painted sparkling red, and you'll notice mine are not. All right, good job. Happy, crazy face. She got LASIK eye surgery, so she does not need glasses. After she turns 40, like me, which was a long time ago, you need the glasses again, even though you have LASIK surgery. And then to tie things together once again, where is that pumpkin? Like this, you can just throw it to me. On the hat, we use that same fabric once again. Just one of them. Thank you. Just one of them, same fabric, and ties it together. What that does is it actually gives your displays, the way you're setting stuff up, some validity, validates it, because it ties it together a little bit, and it's very subtle, and not everybody will pick up on it. What they will pick up on is, wow, look at the great stuff you have. Look at the great details in all of this. They may not notice that this hat and this pumpkin have the same fabric in it. They will subliminally, can we have that on the screen so I can say it easier next time? Thank you, Brian's laughing at me. But they'll know it subliminally, but they may not realize it right away. But we do that on purpose to kind of tie these things together, to coordinate it, because as we're designing it, we do the showroom setup also. And there's 10 or 12 of us that are doing the showroom setup. But we're really thinking all this stuff through. To Zhong's credit, he's a visual master and putting all this stuff together, so he's thinking about it in his head a lot, saying, we need some of this fabric for display. We're going to need 50 yards for the showrooms for some sort of display. So we're going to get extra of that. But we kind of tie things together really nicely that way. How great is this little one on this pretty copper pumpkin? I'll push this aside for just a sec. How pretty is that on the simple color? You've got the solid colors and how nice that looks, how all of her colors, all the detail, all the different colors, the busyness that's going on, how gorgeous it is. It just pops on this. This is that smaller resin, coppery pumpkin. So just really magical in that So we're gonna the clock's clocking down. So I am going to talk to you next about Day of the Dead, and I only have one pair to show you here. I'm going to go right over here, John. Actually, no, Renee, can we take these off here? And I'm going to borrow this from over here. John, I'm going to come back to the table. These are a husband and wife pair. Before I talk about them, I want to talk about the Day of the Dead, though, because Day of the Dead is basically a Latin-based holiday that is quickly becoming into the American lexicon of holidays. The holiday is celebrated on November 1st or 2nd, depending upon various things in different countries. We also know it as All Souls Day. And that is the day that we celebrate the lives of people who have passed already. So, and I'm going to emphasize celebrate and festive and joyful because that's what we've done here so much. Oh, Renee's going to bring me the big one, so we had a great display of it on the mantle, so hopefully you caught it earlier in the show. But she is just all over this place. Can we get a close-up of, yeah, look at the detail in here. I mean, this is just, can I say to die for? I mean, this is to die for. I mean, this is amazing. All different pieces, the textures, the layering, the jeweling, the pavéing of it. It's just magnificent. She is posed. You know, a couple years ago we did these. We couldn't pose them. They had flimsy arms and legs. And Zhong was the one who was saying, you know, I want to be able to pose these. I like them to be posed. And, of course, they said, no, it can't be done. It can't be done. It can't be done. We've heard that about 1,000 times, and we figured out a way to make it work for them. So let's take the big guy at the same time. Thank you. So this is her husband here. So they are posable now, and they've been posable for the last couple years. So they're wired inside there, and there's a foam part in there. Just great fabrics. This is what's she called, the Grand Ball? She's called they are called the Grand Ball skeletons. And this is the larger size. You can see the size. These come with the bases that they're here. Now, we only used one of them, but they come with two bases. She comes with a base, and he comes with a base. But I love her just sitting, and we had this debate yesterday about, we'll put her on the stand, but I said, no, I just love the way you posed her. I just want to leave her just like this. She's too fabulous. There's not a lot of these left. Why is she called Grand? I think because of this ostrich feather, this pink ostrich feather. I mean, this is just like, okay, to die for. I gotta not use that phrase too much with these. It's overdone. But just great, great pieces. There's 3 or 4 different styles. You can see them on the marketplace. You can get them from the different retailers. You can get them from other retailers also, any Mark Roberts retailers. But Day of the Dead pieces are really some fun pieces to have. Last but not least, before we go to Q&A, Brian, do we have many Q&A questions? We have a few. Okay. Renee's going to help me with these because these playful little things for Halloween, because they're kind of, so they move, which drives me crazy. You can see the things we've done with each other with these things. But I'll get on that side. But Renee, I swear, Renee's the only person in the world who knows how to, hey, Renee, stop so you can talk. And show us how you can get them to go up. Is this on motion right now? Yeah, that was on motion right now, so I'm going to get on this side and I'm not going to move. But you can do it so that there's sound activated or motion activated. And Renee, can you tell me how you do that? So the button has just 3 positions? All right, so that was too hard for me to figure out. I swear to God that's true. But it has 3 different positions. So one is for the button to go, or I don't think we can get them to be quiet, though, can we? I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's do some Q&A, and I'll try to not move and see if I can get them to stop. And then we'll come back into it. Why don't we do some Q&A? Brian, are you ready for some Q&A? Okay. Terry, hi Terry. How's it going in Washington there? I hope you're staying cool. Can we fly the witches? Great question. Thank you. Witches can definitely fly. They have those great bat wings, and they have the hangers, so you definitely can hang them to fly them, for sure, yes. When will the witch stands ship, the larger ones? That was a hard question, Terry. Come on. I don't know that answer. Rose will know that answer. I think that we have them, actually, that we should have them. We could have sold out. We talked about that earlier, that we may be selling out of some of the things. But that is a great question that I don't know the answer to. I will ask Rose to follow up with that. Rose might be watching, and if so, she can, I said you could text, Rose, you can text me. I have my phone here, and I'll answer it if you're watching. And I don't see a text right now. But if you do, then I'll answer that question. But I think we have them and that we should be shipping them very soon. Trudy, hey Trudy, how are you doing? So love that you added some hand items to these small fairies. You're welcome. That's a great thing. Where can I find small coffee cups for the coffee fairy? I think they have them, or don't they? I guess they don't. You know, we find them in the weirdest places, you know, and I know sometimes Renee will find something, his daughter. How old's your daughter now? 7, perfect age. So when they're out shopping somewhere, he may find, so where did you find that? Oh, I was out shopping and, with the kids and found this, and so we'll use it in display somewhere. So sometimes you have to hunt out. A little doll store might be good for something like that, or like a Michael's or something. They may have some of that little mini stuff that you could add to their hands. That would be great to do for the coffee fair. But be sure that that is full of coffee, because I'm sure he wants the caffeine like I know I like it. Julie Lowe, you were asking a great question. Thank you. Hi, Julie. Will there be any gourd pumpkin head people in the future? So we have a segment that we're going to do at the end of this called Tell Me Something That You Don't Already Know. And this is not one of them, but I can add this to it right now. Yes, because we did the heads last year, but we couldn't get it done in time. So we got the heads finished, but we could not get everything else, all the detailing done. So there are some, I think there's 2 different heads, right, John? I think there's a pumpkin head and a gourd head, so exactly that. And we had done them, wow, like 15 years ago. And so I use those for the basis of the new sculpts. They are a little different than those ones we did 15 years ago or so. But we are going to do some for 2022. I always say that slowly because I barely remember this is 2021. We just finished 2022 spring. We are looking at 2022 Christmas fabrics and trims right now, and I have also separated out some spring 2023, I'm looking over at John, spring fabrics that just came in. So we are so far ahead on all this stuff, and we're ahead and behind at the same time. So yes is the answer to that. Now, can we go back to the mantle? Brian, am I allowed to see that mantle? Okay, I'm not sure if this will work or not. Can you take you can get ahead of me, John. Now, Renee, did you do this correctly? No. It should be on sound, but it's only on, it's on button. It's on push button right now. So right now they're on push button. But the art can be done where you clap and they go off. If you've seen me on Shop HQ, they can do that. Or motion, and I got to tell you, these rats here, I think it was Brian actually, I thought it was John, but it was Brian, who set up this thing 6 months ago or whatever. And I come up to the showroom and the lights are out. And I come walking down and I walk fast, and all of a sudden this darn thing comes at me in the dark, scares the heck out of me. So I screamed and yelled at everybody laughing, but they're fun pieces to have around. So anyways, I guess we used up our hour. Are we on overtime? Okay, great. So thank you all very much. Oh, wait a minute. I said I had one last thing to tell you. I wanted to do, as my last segment for each of the shows, I want to tell you something that's not been made public yet. And I told you that we finished spring 2022. But what I haven't said is that we will have 5, count them, 5 African-American pieces for spring. We do a large selection or a decent selection of that for Christmas and such. But we will add those in for spring of 2022. So, and I just saw some of those pieces today. I don't know if you guys got to see them, but they're really beautiful. All of them are. A lot of the new spring 2022 items are coming in, so I'm all over the place with categories and seasons. So that's the secret that I'm telling you this time. I'll have to come up with something different. Mark your calendars, July 22nd. We're going to do Christmas in July. Terry Catone is saying, can you make something, do something special? Can we get some special prices on some things? So I'm working on that. So I think the answer is yes to that. I'll say yes is the answer to that. And we're going to do Christmas in July. So we just did Halloween in June. Everybody's heard of Christmas in July, but Halloween in June is kind of coming up and coming and popular. So this was fun show to do. It went fast. I think we had no sound problems, which is a miracle. We did get new computers. We got new system. So we spent some more money and finally got it in. So thank you so much. Support your local retailers. We appreciate all the support. It's just a lot of fun. So Brian, are we good to go? Thank you.